Man, does this video have an unexpected ending. What's up? Diamond the Coder here to entertain you. Am I excited today? But why are you excited, Diamond? Well, thank you for asking, imaginary content gremlin. I'm excited because I got some stuff in the mail. In particular, this thing. But what is it? I don't know, let's unpack it and see. What is all this, you may ask? I came across this cool video by this cool YouTuber. Oh, cool. Penny the Business, where he goes through his studio setup and explains how he has things set up. And one small detail caught my eye. In the beginning of the video, he talks to his Google Assistant and says, "Hey Google, turn on the studio," or something like that, right?
Turn on studio.
You got it, turning 5 things on.
And I was like,
Say what?
wow, that's a good idea. I should do something like that. Next thing I do, go on Amazon, buy a bunch of electronic crap to make my studio smart. That crap arrives in the mail today, and this means that you and I are gonna have a little project. So first things first, before I go ahead and set up a smart studio, I need to figure out what can I make smart about it. So I spent a few hours just thinking what are the components in the studio and what can I automate and how can I achieve that in an easiest and the cheapest way possible. All right, so some handheld action here. We have a few components here in the studio. So this is one light box. We have this another one, but I don't currently use it. Maybe I will at some point, but I guess we will automate that as well. We have this background lighting, and tomorrow should arrive one more lamp that's gonna be here as well, which will need to be automated. This is where the camera sits. I don't know if we can automate turning on the camera, so I guess we'll just leave it to be done by hand. And the next thing we have is these blinds. So these are the components. I was trying to come up with a way how to automate them the easiest, and basically turning these lights on and off, that's pretty damn easy. I mean, I got a smart socket. Yeah, smart socket, that's how it's called. I got a smart socket connector. We're gonna plug in both of the lamps into these things. I can individually turn on and off each of these sockets, as well as all of the 3 USBs. So I'm gonna connect the lamps to these sockets, and we're gonna automate them just like that. It's gonna be super easy. LED lighting in the background, already smart LEDs, nothing to do there. Now the interesting part is gonna be the blinds. That's why I got these little fellas. These are Wi-Fi switches, basically a box that turns on or off the current flow through the box itself. So I have to figure out a way to use this to automate that. Let's see if I can do it. So I've actually never worked with any smart home appliances or anything like that before today. I mean, I just installed the smart LEDs. That's the first smart thing in the house. So let's figure out how this thing works. It's so tiny. How can a camera capture that QR code even? Oh yeah, it can. Okay, I don't need to take a picture of that old man. Okay, Smart Life app, download. That's how I do Face ID. So there's never a not fabulous picture of me out there. I know Face ID doesn't take pictures. Shut up! It should be blinking, it's not. We got this thing working, I guess. Let's try and turn on this thing with this thing. Okay, so that works, that's cool. Was pretty easy, 5 minutes, I guess, no more. But let's take it a step further. Let's connect this thing to voice control. Google Assistant. I wonder if I have that. So after struggling for a bit here, I figured this thing out. So you have to add this thing as well to your Google Home app. Okay, so I have this on Google Home. Now what we can do is actually ask Google Assistant to turn it on and off. Okay, Google, turn on softbox.
All right, turning the softbox secondary on.
Okay, so I currently configured the studio to contain these three devices. This softbox, this is the secondary one, the main softbox here, and the backlit bookshelf. Or whatever. Okay, Google, turn off studio.
Sorry, power can...
Okay, Google, turn off studio. Okay, Google, turn studio on. And that's not even all. Okay, Google, change office bookcase color to red.
Alright, changing the office bookcase to red.
How you like them apples? Okay, but that was the easy part. I mean, we have the softbox and the background lighting set. It's very cool and was pretty easy. Actually, it didn't take me more than probably 15 minutes to set everything up. But that's not why we are here, are we? We want to see if we can automate the window blinds with this thing. Well, not with that thing, but with the other things. So let's get cracking! So the problem I see with this switch being automated is actually that this is some weird switch where if you turn one way, it automatically turns off the other way. So that means if I want to go down, it's going to turn off the up if that was on, and vice versa. I will need to figure out a way where if I turn one line on, the other turns off, and vice versa, and I'm not entirely sure if I will be able to do this with these particular switches. But we'll see what happens once we get inside the wall. Just from looking at me, you probably think, oh yeah, that smart guy, he has all kinds of degrees. No, I only have a degree in computer science, which did not involve electric engineering. So this thing, honestly, I don't know what will happen if, for example, I fail and turn on both up and down at the same time. I really hope that the worst case scenario will be just a switch in the wall, getting thrown out instead of the whole mechanism of the blinds burning. But we'll see, and we'll hope for the best, right?
Much later.
Okay, so it's a few days later and a few things happened in the meantime. Basically, the moment I started looking at how to set up the blinds with these switches or relays, whatever you want to call them, I realized that there's going to be a problem because the switch that's currently on the curtains, that's a two-way switch. That means that there is a switch that makes the curtains go down, and there's another switch that makes the curtains go up, but they can never be turned on at the same time because one cancels the other. So initially I thought that I would be able to deal with that situation using these relays, and I probably would be able to do that by installing two relays, one to go up, one to go down, and then configuring like a very complex and smart if this then that application scenario that would basically turn one relay off while the other was being turned on, and so on and so forth. I thought I'm gonna take that approach, but I realized that that's not really a sustainable approach, because if I change the phone, or if I just lose that setup scenario, or somebody else wants to do that, basically this requires a lot of configuration. So I thought that there might be a better idea. So what I did is actually I went on Amazon. I found this smart curtain switch, which is basically the switch that is currently installed in the wall, which is a two-way switch, except that it's a smart switch. So that means that I can install this instead of that one, and hopefully it will be a lot easier to configure this switch than to make the thing happen with these relays. So let's go kill the fuse and let's see what we can do with this. Taking off the old switch, that's definitely the hardest part. Okay, so we have a problem. There's no neutral wire coming in to this existing switch anywhere. So I have to find that somewhere else, around here in the wall, or this smart switch might not be happening. So let's just hope that I'll find something here in the wall. Well, that shit. So there was no neutral wire in the wall. What is this, the Middle Ages? So what did we learn from this experience? Basically, before you go out and start buying smart switches like a f***ing idiot, go and figure out if your walls do have neutral wires coming to the switches you're intending to replace. Well, I guess for the time being, the automation for my studio is just gonna contain 4 lights being switched on by Alexa. Blinds, I will have to manually turn on and off like a f***ing caveman. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, at the very least, you learned one thing: to make sure that your walls do have neutral wires coming to the switches you intend to replace. Yeah, that's it. So if you like it, make sure to subscribe. I'm sure I will be making more of these home automation videos where you will probably have a great chance of learning what not to do from my experiences. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.